with a poem, and it's a poem that was written by a man named Pedro Arrupe. He was the 28th Superior General for the Society of Jesus, very often called the Black Pope. But what I found really interesting about this man was that when the United States dropped the atomic bomb on Hiroshima, he was one of 8 Jesuits that was there within the zone of the blast. And all 8 Jesuits survived. But he always talked about that being a life-impacting experience, especially the aftermath and what he had to deal with. But I wanted to talk about this poem that he wrote. It's called Falling in Love. And it goes like this: nothing is more practical than finding God, than falling in love in a quite absolute final way. What you are in love with, what seizes your imagination, will affect everything. It will decide what you will get out of bed in the morning, what you do with your evenings, how you spend your weekends, what you read, whom you know, what breaks your heart, and what amazes you with joy and gratitude. Fall in love, stay in love, and it will decide everything. That poem speaks to me because the things that I look at since I came to Homeboy Industries have changed. And the things that I love have changed. I used to love being in my neighborhood. I used to love standing on that street corner and waiting for death. And then I came here and I started to see things differently. And the things that I love today are very different. And I just want to talk about one very concrete example. I commute to work from Long Beach. And my usual route takes me from the 710 to the 60. And then I usually get off on 3rd Street and make my way down. But when I make the exchange from the 710 to the 60, and I've driven that route for almost 8 years now. And about 2 years ago, I decided to really pursue my spirituality in a different way. And I decided to go back to my indigenous roots. And nature and animals, and especially birds, have a lot to do with that spirituality. And as soon as I began to pursue that, very soon after, I would drive on that freeway and make that exchange, and I saw a hawk for the very first time on this light pole. And then after that, I've seen them every day since I've come to work. And I had driven that same route many, many times, but I had never been looking for something like that. And because a hawk represents something very sacred to the practices that I follow, I began to look for him, and as soon as I looked for him, I found him. And so what that means to me here at Homeboy Industries and how that relates to my process here is, I didn't look for change before I came to Homeboy. I didn't look for friendship. I didn't look for love. I didn't look for redemption. But as soon as I started to seek those things, I found them. And I have fallen in love with them. I'm still in my own process of redemption. I'm still in my own process of transformation. And I've fallen in love with that process. So that's what I invite you to do today. I invite you to seek something different, to fall in love with something different. For me, that different is me. Like, I invite you to fall in love with yourself today. Discover who you really are. Don't be afraid to look in the mirror. I'm sure that if you really take a good look, you will fall in love. Thank you.